So for this project, we're going to be wanting to use a 3.5 millimeter hook. We are also going to be using this yarn. It's a weight 4 yarn. I decided to choose green, just like what Sydney Sweeney is wearing in her picture. It's a little bit brighter than what she's wearing, but it was a close match. If you guys want the same color, the color's in melon. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start off by making the bottom. So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna make a foundation chain of 12. So let's make a slip knot. Put a hook through. So in order to make a foundation chain, or in order to make chains, if you don't already know, we're gonna put our hook onto the slip knot. We're going to wrap the yarn around our hook and we're gonna pull through. And that is 1 chain. And we're gonna do this 12 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 12. All right, so now we're going to make 9 rows of double crochet. So in order to start your row, what we're gonna wanna do is we're going to want to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet in the 3rd stitch from the hook. So that's the first one, 2nd, and the 3rd one. We're gonna want to double crochet in here. And to double crochet, just a refresher if you don't already know, we're going to yarn over our hook, put our hook through the stitch, and then yarn over again. Now we have 4 loops on our hook, pull through 2, and we're going to yarn over again and then pull through 2, and that's 1 double crochet. So we're going to make we're going to finish this row of double crochets, and then you're going to want to do this until you have 9 rows. So now that you're done your 9 rows, what we're going to do is we're going to increase in the 10th row. So you're gonna want to chain 1, 2, flip your work over, and now we're gonna put 2 double crochets into the 1st stitch right here. So we're going to increase. So increasing just means we're putting 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. So we're gonna put 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet into the 1st stitch, and then we're going to want to double crochet all the way down, but leave the last stitch open. So we're going to want to double crochet all the way down just before we get to the last stitch. Okay, so now that you're at your last stitch, you're going to want to put 2 double crochets into that last stitch. Okay, 2. And so the reason we're putting 2 double crochets at the ends, or yeah, at the ends, is because we want to make that bikini shape. Oops. We want to make that bikini shape that kind of goes outwards like this. So we're going to be increasing every other row for a gradual increase. So for the 11th row, we're going to want to again chain 2, flip our work, and then we're just going to double crochet all the way across. Just 1 double crochet in each stitch. Now you're done your 11th, we're going to move on to the 12th row. Chain 2, always chain 2 at the end, and then we're going to do the same thing we did in the 10th row. So we're going to increase, so we're going to put 2 double crochets in the first and the last stitch of the 12th row. So we're going to put 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet into that first stitch there, and then we're just going to double crochet 1 into each stitch all the way across until we get to the end. Okay, now that we're at the last stitch, again 2 double crochets into this last stitch. And now we're done our 12th row. And you can kind of see how it's kind of forming like a V-ish shape, or yeah. So now for the 13th row, we're going to flip our work and we're just going to put double crochets all the way across. Just 1 double crochet into each stitch. So basically we're alternating with increasing in one row and then just double crochets in the next row. We're going to be doing this until we get to row 15, I'll show you along the way. And then in our 15th row, we're going to want to do 1 double crochet in each stitch across. And now that you're at the end, you're going to want to chain 2. And then now we're going to want to increase every row for 9 rows. So how we increase again is just 2 double crochets in the first stitch and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. And we're going to do that for every row. We're going to be increasing, so 2 double crochets in the first stitch and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. We're going to do that for 9 rows. So in, I guess this would be our 16th row, double crochet 1, double crochet 2, and double crochet all the way across. And in the last stitch, double crochet twice. So 1 and 2. Okay, and that is our 16th row. So we're going to want to chain 2, always chain 2 when you're starting a new row. And then we're going to increase again, so 2 double crochets in this stitch and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. again, we're doing this for 9 rows. So once you get to the 24th row, I will get back to you. Okay, so now that you're done your 9th row of increasing, we are going to chain. So this is the front of our bottoms, and we're going to chain 16 on this side and 16 on this side so we can create our waist, or the rest of the waist. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. And by the way, I'm making this for myself. Whoops. I'm making this for myself, so, and I usually run I'm usually a size medium in basically all clothes. So that's what the size of the bikini is going to be. And now we're going to, so we snip that off after we make 16 chains, and now we're going to attach our yarn onto the opposite side, onto this stitch here, and we're going to chain 16. So 1, 15, 16. All right, so now that we have both of these sides, now that we have both these sides done, we are going to chain 2. My camera needs to stop moving. We're going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and we're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. Okay, just like so. And we're going to double crochet all the way down until we get to here. And then we're going to be making 12 rows in total from here. Don't stop. Don't stop. Perfect. So now that we have our first, I guess it's our first row done, we're gonna wanna do this 11 more times. So in total, we're gonna have 12. I'm doing 12 just because that's my preference. You can have it as short or as tall or as short as you like. For this pattern to kind of follow what's in the photo, I'm gonna do 12. Yeah. So again, to start the new row, we're going to chain 2, flip our work, and just double crochet 1 into each stitch. And I'll come back once I have all 12 of my rows done. Okay, so now you should have your front all done. Let me zoom out for you. So your front should be done. It should look something like this. Okay, so now, sorry, excuse me. I was making spaghetti squash and I had some left on my hand. Okay, so now that we're done our front, we're gonna start working on the back of the bottoms. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our scissors and we're going to snip off this end and tighten, and then you can weave in your end. I usually leave that till the end of the project. Okay, so now we're going to start our back side, and we're gonna want to put our yarn through the same stitch we started with. So a good indication is the leftover yarn. So we're going to put our hook through the first stitch, and then we're going to secure our yarn there. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to double crochet all across here 12 times. When we get to the end, chain 2, start another row of double crochets, and we're gonna do that for 2 rows. So we're going to chain 1, 2, and then we'll do our first double crochet into that first stitch once again. And this is like an extra little tip I like to do. So sometimes when I have my ends like this, and I can line them up quite nicely with where I'm crocheting, I like to hide them within my stitches. So what I'll do is, I'll bring it up close. So what I'll do is, if you can see, this is the stitch I'm going into right here. So I'm going through that stitch, and I'm also gonna want to go and hide these within that stitch. So I'm gonna have the strings laying on top of my hook. I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to pull that through, and then I'll wrap around, I guess it's behind the ends I want to hide, and that way, I don't know if you can see, but the ends are being hidden within that stitch. And that's how I kind of weave in my ends while I'm crocheting, just if I see the opportunity to, and then I just take advantage of that. Okay. And then once you think your ends have been weaved in enough, I usually snip, and then I just continue. So now that we're done our 2 rows that we started for the back side, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, flip our work, and now we're going to increase again. So we're going to increase in the first and the last stitch. And again, increasing means 2 double crochets. So 2 double crochets in the first stitch and the last stitch. Okay, so now that you're done increasing, we're just gonna make a row of double crochets all the way across. Just 1 double crochet per stitch. Alright, and then when you're done your row of double crochets, we're going to increase one more time, or not one more time, sorry. We're just gonna increase. And we're basically increasing for the next 13 rows. So when you get to row, you're gonna stop at row 17. So again, increasing is always 2 double crochets in the first and the last stitch, and that is you creating that V shape we're going for in order to cover the bum. So again, we're gonna increase for 13 more rows. So once you get to row, you're gonna finish on row 17. So once you have 17 rows for the back side, then I'll come back to you and I'll tell you what the next steps are going to be. Okay, so now you should be done your 12 rows of increasing, and then now we're gonna chain on the sides again, just like we did with the front piece, but this time we're going to chain 9. So we're going to do 1, 2, we're going to snip that piece off, and then we're going to attach the yarn back to the opposite side. Let's put it through the stitch first. And then we're going to stitch 1, 2, 8, 9. All right, and now we're going to make a row of double crochet, and we're going to make 12 rows of double crochet, just like the front piece, so that everything lines up with each other. So after the 9 chains, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. And then you're going to put that double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. And then now we're just gonna double crochet, just put 1 double crochet into each stitch across. Okay, so now that we're done the top, it should look something like this. Oops. So now what we're going to work on is we're going to work on making some tie holes on this side and this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into each row. So there would be 2 in here, 2 there, 2 here. I'll show you. So we'll go, if you hear some crackling, that's just because the wood, our wood burning stove is like right beside me, and I have some fire going, I guess. Okay, so there's 1 double crochet there, and then 2 double crochets, and then you're gonna move on to the next row. 1, 2, and then the next row, 1, 2, and you're gonna keep doing that until you get to the end, and then you keep doing that until you get to here, and then I'll show you how to deal with that row. Okay, so now that you're getting right before this chain space here, we're gonna put 2 more in there. So we're gonna put 1 and 2, and then we're going to put only 1 more into here. Just 1 double crochet into the last row. That's the row with our single crochets. Perfect. So now you have something that looks like this. Okay, so now let's flip our work, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to put 1 double crochet right here, and then we're going to chain 1, skip that stitch, and then put a double crochet into this next stitch, and then we're going to double crochet for, let's see, so we're going to double crochet for 9. So 1, 2, 3, 9. And then once you're done putting that 9th double crochet, you're gonna want to chain 1, and then you're gonna skip this stitch and then put a double crochet in the next one. And then again, we're going to double crochet for 9. 1, 2, and 9. And then we're going to chain 1, skip that stitch, and then chain into the, or double crochet into the last stitch in this row. And then now you have 3 tie holes here. So 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna wanna snip this, weave in the ends, and we're going to do this same step here onto the other side here. So what you can do, or you're gonna want to start your, I guess you can start on either side, but in order to be consistent, you're gonna want to start on, I guess, the opposite side of this guy. So you're gonna want to start on this side. Wow, did that make sense? I don't know. All right, and then I'll show you what the next step after this is. So after you're done making the tie holes on your shirt, on the body of the shirt, you're gonna want to make the tie for the shirt. So we're going to chain, you can chain as much as you want, but I want mine to be kind of a medium length. So I'm going to be chaining 150. So just make a chain of 150 or to whatever size you like, in order to keep the top up. $48, $49, $150. So you should have a chain. You should be done your chain. You're gonna want to snip the end. You can either weave in your ends. I don't really weave in my ends for the ties, so I just cut it as short as I want, or as long as I want. Just make sure that it won't get loose. And you're done with your tie. So now we're going to work on the puff sleeves on the shirt. So what we're gonna want to do is we're going to make a slip knot. And reminder, this is for my body size and I'm usually a medium. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to chain 79. Oh no, sorry. We're going to chain 78, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3. 78. All right, so now that we have 70, oh. So now that we have 78 chains, we're going to chain 2 more. So make sure you keep note of this last chain. We're going to chain 1, 2. We're going to put 1 double crochet in that chain we kept an eye on, the last chain of our 78. We're going to put a double crochet in that guy, and then we're going to double crochet all the way down until we get to the end. Just 1 double crochet into each stitch. And we're going to do another row of double crochets after this. So in total, you're gonna have 2 rows of double crochets. Okay, so after you're done 2 rows of double crochets, we are going to chain 2, and for our 3rd row, we are going to chain 1 more, so we'll have 3 chains on this hook, and then we're going to skip these 2 stitches. So we're going to double crochet in the 3rd stitch from the end. Just like so. And you're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip this stitch and do a double crochet in the next. And we're basically going to be doing this pattern of double crochet, chain, skip, double crochet, chain, skip, double crochet. So we're going to double crochet, make a chain, skip that stitch, double crochet, and chain, and then skip that stitch, double crochet. And we're going to be doing this pattern all the way down this chain, and then I'll show you how to move on to the next row. Okay, so when you're getting to the end of the row, you're going to put your last double crochet. So you're not going to chain 1. So notice how there's no more, or there's not enough space to chain 1 and skip a stitch. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go from double crochet in this stitch to double crochet in this next stitch. Like so. And then we're going to chain 2. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into each double crochet in the row before. So we chain 2, and we're going to double crochet into this first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet again into this double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put a double crochet into this double crochet here, so right there. We're going to chain 1 and then double crochet into the double crochet, and now you see this pattern forming. So I went ahead and I made the first sleeve. So basically we're trying to get this pattern done. So you start off with your 2 double crochets here, and then we are now doing the double crochet, skip a space, double crochet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a total of 20 of these rows with the skipping a stitch. We're gonna have 20 of those to make the sleeves. You can make it as, you can make as many rows as you want, but I made 20 for this project. And you're going to want to keep doing this until you have 20 rows, and then I'll show you how to attach it to the shirt or the body of the shirt. So now we're going to work on attaching our sleeves. You're going to want to grab some stitch markers or some safety pins. So I marked out where I'm going to be slip stitching the sleeves. So you're going to want to mark the 34th stitch and the 13th stitch. Now we're going to fold our body so that the stitch markers are placed in front of each other, and we're going to grab our sleeve, fold it in half as well, and we're going to slip stitch the sleeve into place, just as I'm showing in the video. I'm making a shirt. It's gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. So now that you're done attaching these sleeves to the body, we're going to slip stitch along the sleeve just to connect them together. So how you're going to do this is the same way we've been attaching all the pieces together. We're just going to slip stitch all the way down, and then that's how we'll connect it. And once you're done one of the sleeves, you're going to want to fasten off and tighten, and then you're going to want to weave in your ends, and then you're going to want to repeat the same steps on the other sleeve. So now that we're done attaching our sleeves together, we're going to want to create that puff look for the sleeve. So you're going to want to take your tapestry needle and attach some yarn to it. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to weave in and out this strand of yarn throughout the edge of our sleeve. It would be more ideal if you had elastic, but I don't have elastic, so we're just gonna use some yarn. So what you're gonna do is you're going to attach your yarn to the sleeve, and then we're going to weave in just like so. And once you're done weaving in and out, you're going to want to tie it as tight as you want. Make sure to not pull too hard, because then it'll be too tight and your arm won't fit around it. So you're just going to want to pull it tight enough so that it fits around your arm, and then you're going to want to tie off and weave in the ends. You're going to want to repeat this on the other side, and you're done.
Don't stop.